Kind of interesting in the Gospel of Matthew, if you read it from the perspective of Christian Jews, believing Jews that get saved after the rapture, you could see that Jesus is preparing his followers to avoid money traps, if you will. Because there's going to come a time where you're going to have to refuse taking the mark of the beast. And we're not sure what that is just yet. But here is two little examples of Jesus prepping the mindset of the readers of the Gospel of Matthew, because they're going to have to make it to the end of the tribulation. So if you go here, question of paying tribute. Verse 24, and when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, doth not your master pay tribute? He says, yes. And when he was come into the house, Jesus blocked him. He prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter saith unto him, of strangers. Jesus saith unto him, then are the children free. Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea and cast an hook, and take up the fish that the first cometh up, and when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money, and take, and give unto them for me and for thee. Basically, Peter is going to ask all the disciples that were in the house to pay tribute, to pay their loyalties basically to Caesar. And Jesus said, actually, we're exempt. Like the sons of the king are exempt. So that you don't offend anyone, just go instead of working for it in the market and basically taking the mark of the beast, go to the lake and then take a fish out, and then when you open its mouth, you shall find a piece of money. Pay their taxes and ours and my tax. So basically he's saying that there's going to be a time where you're going to have to depend on God to get you through the tribulation. You're going to depend on him. Because if you take the mark of the beast, you are basically sentencing yourself to the lake of fire. So instead, the people in the tribulation should rely on God. And that's what the Gospel of Matthew is all about. Jesus sits down the multitude and basically teaches them an enhanced version of the Ten Commandments. Preps the Jews, because the Jews are looking for signs. So Jesus is teaching them how to survive, how to make it by believing in God. And they're constantly, all through the Gospel of Matthew, looking for signs. And Jesus said, the only sign you're going to be given is the sign of Jonah and the sign of the coming of man in the clouds. So if we go over here, there's another example here. You may not be following me just yet, but maybe this will make it a little bit clearer. So readiness and stewardship. So this is chapter 25, Matthew. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. And they that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept, all of them, all 10. And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. So they didn't have enough oil. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, and we'll miss it as well. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Done. Afterward came also the other virgins, the 5 that didn't have enough oil, so they went to the market and bought. And when they came back, so they were ready before, even though they didn't have very much oil, but they went and bought from the market, taking the mark of the beast. Verse 12, but he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. And then he goes on to another parable. So the parable of the 10 virgins are basically, do not take the mark of the beast. Instead, rely on God himself to provide for you. Because there's not going to be time where you're going to have to, you're actually going to have to depend on each other. And this is when people are going to be betraying each other, turning each other in. All this kind of stuff is going to happen during the tribulation. And the Gospel of Matthew actually prepares you for going through the tribulation, whereas the Gospel of Luke does not. Instead, it just tells you to keep watch and pray for a way to escape from all these things that are going to come to pass, meaning there is a way to escape all this stuff, and that is believing that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And after the rapture, I believe many will come to know the Lord, to know Jesus Christ, but they got to survive. So if you got something out of this, let me know in the comments. Feel free to subscribe and share this video. Bye for now.